Hello everybody, and welcome back to Vampyr. I have a feeling we're getting close to the end, and I found out something about a thing or two. Yeah, something like that. Chemistry diary, book, memoirs. So, okay, so I'm not too sure what I'm supposed to look for, but the notes, they have weird scribbles on them that I need to look out for. Yeah, like this. So this means, I can't really explain it, but oh my lord, let's explain. Okay, so the note Asher gave me in exchange for this note, the Pandora's box quest, right? God damn it. It has a clue in it that I need to look at. Just give me a second. Trying to see if there's any more clues. Yeah, okay, here you go. So, you see that diorama? Or whatever. Basically, what it means is, this is the entrance to Asher, this is the exit. And the pressure plates stand for those things. So, for example, as you can see, there is fish over there, whatever that is. I'm guessing that's a fish. Then above is a circle, then a square, and then the the symbol. And I am supposed to press on the pressure plates in a specific order. I think. So we saw that it was circles 4. Because there was 4 dots next to the circle. Now I'm supposed to look through all the nodes, and okay, fish 1, and I'm supposed to look through all the nodes, essentially. We might do just a hunt for nodes in this episode. Okay, 6. Because I'm pretty sure I don't have all of them that I require, so yeah, I'm not even close. Yeah, the last ones are the ones I require. So I am going to look up a guide for where these nodes are, the missing ones. And we will figure things out from there, because I am vividly curious in what that thing might contain. Okay, here we are.
Is it? What kind of gentleman pays visits to people at the... What can...
I have found the secret laboratory, and I have the formula.
And the author of the diary, did you meet him?
Yes. He was badly disfigured. Nothing more than a beast. And I cannot guarantee it wasn't connected to his experiments.
I don't care. Give me the formula, Doctor.
Here it is. But please, be very careful. You're entering uncharted territories here.
This is what science has always been about, Dr. Reed. Thank you so much.
I can't say it's been a pleasure, but we're both scientists, and I am grateful you asked me to undertake this search for you.
I have something for you, then. It is the most precious thing I have to give. Even more important than the Swanborough secret recipe.
There is really no need for payment.
Please have it, Dr. Reed. I insist. I'm sure you'll find it more useful than I would.
That's all?
Goodbye, Mr. Swanborough. I'll leave you now.
Tell me, how do you see the world these days?
Fair enough. Anyways, I am going to be right back. I need to figure out where I need to look for the missing nodes, because I have 1, 2, 5. I have 5 missing. So I'll be back soon. Right. Let's level up a bit more. And fact, okay. What about this? Even more damage. Thousand though. How am I supposed to deal with that much blood being lost? Like, it would be nice. Like, I'm gonna grab this. This is a good upgrade. Okay, let's up our bullet capacity. No, I don't wanna. The blood capacity. Sure, let's go with that. Did we double down? Oh my god, the final jump. If I ever have 4,000 again, I will. Right now, I think I should take my healing. Alright. Somebody told me I should go to the blind guy after... About accidental deaths. The inhabitants of London live in a fear of physicians, delayed interventions, barefaced favoritism, and strange experimental treatments. The scarcity of professionalism is crystallized in Pembroke Hospital, Whitechapel, where deontology was discharged a long time ago. The Pembroke administration hides behind a facade of dedication and rectitude, but those of us who know any of the patients of wars or among them are aware of their deceit. In this temple devoted to dread, you'll have to pay to get a bed, you will catch illnesses you never knew existed, and your corpses will be relieved of its possessions in the morgue. Here patients die all night of wounds they never bore upon their arrival, and they call them accidents. I briefly interviewed Dr. Swansea, head of administration. Declaimed a pedantic timor mortis conturbat me. Fear of death confounds me, before forcing us out of the establishment. Quotes in Latin will not be enough to keep us away from the morbidity. Volunteers are welcome to join me tomorrow morning in front of the hospital to demand clear facts about the state of the medical institution. Come in numbers. Almost sanitized, cool.
Good, is he? What kind of gentleman pays visits to people at this late?
How are you doing?
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Didn't you...
So did you decide not to take the experimental cure for blindness?
Oh no, I have. For a few hours.
But you are still... What do you mean? I don't understand.
I saw the world again, Dr. Reed. For a few hours I witnessed how ugly and sad and tragic this city is.
I'm sorry the effect didn't last.
You don't get it, do you? I crafted a new formula that made me blind again. The world is a cesspool, Dr. Reed, and I don't want to look at it.
Bro, Bro, you could have just put it on a blindfold.
Goodbye, Mr.
Bro.
This.
Well, time to speak to Dr. Edgar. See how he's doing now that he's a vampire.
Jonathan, my dear.
Oh my
I can
lord.
never thank you enough.
Thank me. For what?
Come now, you know what I mean. I am... well, I'm just like you.
Have you no shame? Must I remind you of your ludicrous actions? Of the innocent men and women who died at your hands?
Shame is for mortals, Jonathan. I know it now, and you should too. We are something else. Something more.
What about the Brotherhood?
Yeah, what
Will
about
they
them?
eject you? I remain a member. I have information to provide now. Intelligence from the other side, if I may say so.
They won't banish you.
Not so long as I behave.
How are you going to
How do
behave
you
though?
feel since you changed?
Absolutely fine. Did you know I can determine the health of every patient or nurse just by looking at him? Fascinating.
Have you taken a life yet, Edgar?
Don't you think that's a private matter? I would not ask you such an indiscreet question.
Do you feel the hunger?
Yes. It's very peculiar, not like mortal hunger at all. It's like I'm never...
His eyes are like bloodshot.
Fortunately, blood is no rare commodity at Pembroke.
What will you do?
Man, I feel
now
like
that
letting
you
him
are
die was the right
Experiment,
decision.
my dear colleague. I have an eternity to make scientific progress. I could be the only scientist able to undertake extreme experiments upon himself.
My God, Edgar. Did you learn nothing from your forays into folly?
I have, I swear. No more experiments on mortals. See? I said mortals. How quickly the mind adapts.
What kind of experiments?
Who knows? Nervous shock, brain damage, pain and recovery. There's almost no limit to what my body can now endure. I could be the next Henry Head.
Henry Head.
Will you continue
All right.
as Pembroke's administrator?
Of course. I can help more than ever. And since I'm already dead, I can't get sick.
Are you not afraid Priwen will find you? Next time, they will do more than abduct and torture you.
I remain a man of peace. If things were to go awry, I would flee rather than slice them up as you would, my friend.
Have you seen Elizabeth? Has she passed this way since you returned?
No. And I'm terrified to see her again. I really am, Jonathan. She could very well tear me to pieces for what I did.
She should probably.
Goodbye, Edgar. I'm certain we'll meet again.
Unfortunately. I do wonder if anyone at the hospital has noticed sudden change in our dear boy Edgar. Just quickly go to Pipa because she's the closest. My lord, she's behind the wall. There we go.
It's locked.
I don't care.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
How are things now that Dr. Swansea is back?
I must admit, the situation is better. We still have to deal with the epidemic, but it's good to have someone in charge again.
Goodbye.
Oh my lord, I missed this. About the use of garlic and wooden stakes. Dear brothers, I must now draw attention to a very important point. The use of garlic as a protection against vampires. Let's be crystal clear on the subject. Garlic will never protect you against those creatures, no matter how fresh, how strong, and how smelly. Garlic is totally useless as a defense. I can never say enough how damaging that novel of Bram Stoker has been. Yes, of course, population of Slavic countries place garlic cloves in coffins. Yes, of course, inhabitants of Santorini Island hang garlic on the windows. There would be so much to write about this place, and someday soon I hope to go back to this island, further explore its occult tradition. But that is not to protect the living from the devil, it is to tell the dead that they are aware of their malevolence. It is a symbol, nothing more and nothing less. So please, by all means, yes, wear garlic, show garlic, hang garlic, and tell the shadows that you are not afraid. But if you are looking for supernatural protection, you will have to search much deeper into the forgotten secrets of the occult tradition. For here's the truth, my fellow brothers, garlic does not repel vampires. But all the fresh plants will hurt them. It is as if their body could not stand the presence of botanical elements. I have seen an enraged wolf flee when backed with a rose. Yes, a simple rose. I have witnessed a violent econ fall down and beg for mercy when stuck by a wooden stake. I don't know why it is so effective, and I would give my left arm to find the answer to that mystery, but the truth remains nevertheless. Vampires are very sensitive to fresh herbs, plants, and woods. From Facing the Shadows, How and How by Esho Toltree. Primate. Cool. I'll be back soon then. New area. No wonder I missed the spot. There was no way I would have found this on my own. Just saying, like, I didn't want to explore the spot of the map. Oh, lady. Not sure how to tell you this, but you're being evicted. Oh, she's off. Laughing at the god. For more than a century, the god of Privan has been dissident faction from the Brotherhood of Saint Paul's Stall. It is important as the divergence of opinion between our two fraternities are now well established. To remember what happened and why we shall at last consider these former brothers are opponents and adversaries and mock their law of conduct. Kendall Stone founded the god in 1801. He was former legate of the Brotherhood and long-standing member of the Brotherhood Council. His departure was the result of a reconcilable dispute within the council, when Kendall stated that the Brotherhood had consider its non-violent approach to the study of vampires and the eradication of these mortals had to be the ultimate goal of all researchers. As the terrible schisms occurred, relations between God and Brotherhood have always been difficult. The god of Privan considers the Brotherhood as traitors and allies of their foes, while we call them thieves and zealots for the many ancient and precious books we kept for centuries, which they destroyed or stole when they left. I will constantly recuse any accusation of cowardice, for I know the courage it requires for our brothers to approach and observe hostile immortals. I will never forget the cruel loss of the unique texts and scrolls burned by Kendall and its followers when they left, and I will never cease to laugh at their stupidity, revealed in their very name, since they chose to call themselves the God of Privan as a reference of King Arthur's shield, thus defining themselves as the true defenders of this land, when the true scholar perfectly knows that in the book of Talis, Bridwen is only the name of Arthur's boat during his expedition to the mythical territories of Anfin. What a symbol indeed. From Whispers from Our Past by Usher Taltree. Okay, so circle is also a 2. Cool. So what is left is step number 3 and 5. Killings. Right, I'll be back soon then. It was probably in this office, right? The Ascalon Club is an association of gentlemen secretly aiming for the protection of Crown's interests. I founded it in 1837 to honor and perpetuate the legacy of my maker, William Marshall, first Earl of Pembroke and a true protector of England. All the members of the club must be of good extraction and flawless moral fiber. Since the club accepts the mortal members who will be duly observed, duly observed and valued as proper candidates for immortality. The goal of the club is to impose respectable traditions and behaviors amongst the good vampire society, but also to promote and expand the imperial hegemony of England. We are the true elite of British society. We are Ascalon, the holy lands held by Saint George's, protector of England. When the saints salute the dragon, as lance bearers ourselves, we vow to defend the Empire's interests. Cool, we're missing 2 now. I'll be right back. Oh, hello. Time to investigate this citizen. I'm sure she doesn't mind me being right behind her. From where am I supposed to observe her? Is there a specific point? Hello? Oh, here we are.
You made me sick. You juicy, warm treat. Damn it! Oh my! What have we got here? A dead rat. Oh, so gross. So tempting.
A poor woman.
Eternal life. Through the blood of the lesser beasts, he said. Oh, dear God, help me. Save me, for I can't stand what I've become.
Let's talk to her. I'm sure she would like to talk. Hello. Oh, no, no! Hello, Karina, let's talk, come on.
Rats. Tasty rats.
Why do you eat rats, Karina?
Their flesh contains the path to immortality. I have to eat them all if I want to live. Help me. Please. Make it stop.
I don't know if I can, miss. You have been tricked, forced to play a disgusting game. I don't know how to save you.
Kill me then, Doctor.
I can't.
Take my life. I beg you.
I can't do that, Miss Billow. I'm a doctor. I won't kill as an answer to pain or suffering. Never again.
It is my decision. If I could, I'd do it myself. You're a doctor, but also a vampire, aren't you? Kill me, please. Make it stop.
There has to be a different answer.
What really happened to you, Karina?
He was so handsome, so charming. He asked if I'd obey him in every way. I said yes. And then he
tricked you.
Yes. He has promised me eternal life. And now I must eat these rodents for attaining it. But of course, it's a lie.
And that's horrible.
Why did
It is...
I hope you'll be
I
okay.
must-
And letter. Miss Paxton, I recently had at Hampton's shelter for months, and money or support of any kind. Without a positive answer from you, I may be. My boys always get what they accepted for, no for an answer. Even refusing to answer me when good boys come and you. Well, I guess let's have a conversation with Lottie.
Lottie, tell me about the Wet Boot Boys. I know they've threatened you.
Edwina Cox wanted me to provide her with information about Mr. Hampton's resources. I refused.
Is that not dangerous?
Fuck them and their lies. They claim they protect the interests of the neighborhood, but they are just greedy parasites like all the rest.
I respect your courage, Miss Paxton, and I hope life will never wear you down.
Dr. Reed. You know how to make a girl blush. I am glad you came to the docks, whatever your real reasons are.
That's sweet.
Goodbye.
Oh, Sean.
Welcome back to my humble shelter, Dr. Reed.
You don't look better.
Are you here to subdue me again?
No, Sean. I just came by to see how you are.
I feel all right. Why'd you ask?
Are you still feeding on corpses?
No. It's almost as though the blood you forced me to drink has provided me eternal satisfaction.
Eternal satisfaction.
How is the sanitary situation in this part of town?
I think it's acceptable. Fewer cases of sickness recently. I thank the Lord for his mercy.
How are things in your shelter? Between the mortals and the immortals, I mean.
Even if we're all children of God, I've always maintained a strict frontier between the two communities.
What do you fear?
A few years ago, a Skal decided to pay a nocturnal visit to my sleeping customers. He got caught licking their necks in the dark. Since then, I have added a lock to the door.
Oh.
What if food became scarce? Wouldn't the immortals in your flock be tempted to feed on the living? Wouldn't you?
The Skals can feed on the dead, Doctor. And until Judgment Day, mortals will continue dying.
If you say so.
Would you let me listen to your chest, Sean?
No, Dr. Reed. You already forced me to drink your blood, and I thank you for that, for I feel better now. But it was quite an unpleasant experience.
I can imagine.
It would help me greatly if you would allow me to give you a physical examination.
I said no. I'm no subject of medical examination, and I intend only to obey and to kneel before God.
Too late.
How did you meet old Bridget?
When younger, I used to patrol the streets at night, searching for lost souls. This is how I met her. It took me 2 months just to get her name. Now we support each other.
That's good.
Had you already visited their hideout in the sewers?
Just once, and very briefly. Most of them are very discreet, and they see me as an outsider, even if I protect them.
I mean, that's fair.
You really are a saint, Sean.
Oh, no, sir, I'm not. But I know evil, and I believe goodwill and tenacity can make this world a better place.
Alright. Anything else?
Have you seen Harriet Jones since taking her to old Bridget?
No, she is with the sewer Skals now. I don't go downstairs.
What happened at the Pembroke?
I guess we recognized each other. As Skals, I mean. She had but one thought. To punish. To get revenge upon everything and everyone. I realized I had to bring her here quickly.
But why did she fake her own death? There was so much blood in her room. She attacked patients, too.
I just lost her for a minute that night. When I found her, she had caused mayhem across the hospital. I slapped some sense into her, and we fled before getting caught.
What happened then?
We ran here through narrow streets and backyards. She kept saying that someone was talking to her in the dark, offering to avenge her. But I saw nobody.
Thank you, Sean.
Farewell, Sean. Take good care of your flock, and of yourself.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Oh, fish is 5, so we are missing 1. It has been established for some time now, Skal is the vernacular name of a different species of lesser blood drinkers. A Skal often seems to be a victim of a vampire attack, who miraculously survived death and came back as a crooked version of its maker. According to many observations made by our order throughout the centuries, Skals are generally despised and killed by vampires, who consider them lesser and despicable creatures. The name itself means slave. They also have been called Sakaliba, Arabic, Sklavus, Latin, or Sklavinoi, Greek. This shows how old these creatures are and how the makers perceive them. This may be why Skals often tend to form small and discrete communities that stick together. It is also interesting to know that Skals seem to call themselves this way as if they accepted for a long time their status as inferior servants among vampires. It is more difficult for a Skal to hide its monstrous nature: pale skin, terrible teeth, strange emaciation, dilated and staring pupils. Many have lost all hair and they show wounds and scars, stay open without never completely healing. They also seem capable of surviving by eating flesh of the dead, while vampires need blood from the living. They may be the real origin of the mythical figure of the ghoul, the folklore creature who lurk in cemeteries and feed from the dead. A Skal is a miserable creature. Most of the times they fear to be seen by both humans and vampires. In some regions, all the Skals have been witnessed nearby vampires as servants or slaves, obtaining protection by sacrificing their freedom. Most of the Skals are descended from icons and show humanoid silhouettes, much more uncommon. Some present a more canine aspect and behave like wolves. They are summons called vulpes in ancient texts. At least a third type exists in the shape of a bird of bat, and they called corvus. William Marshall himself referred 3 times to some bat-shaped creatures he called vampire in his memories. Other types may exist unknown or unidentified for now. From Drinking of the Fountain of Knowledge by Usher Toltrey, Primate of the St. Paul. Cool. Now... all that's left is going into the sewers, and somewhere in the sewers there is a final text, apparently. I'm gonna look up where it is, so that we don't have to actually worry about searching for it, so give me a moment. This must be it. Pick up the shillings. Oh, there we go. The myth of the horned vampire. What is a tale but forgotten or mythicized history? By essence, vampires are related to the concept of immortality, and they can be perceived as entities that live through centuries, thus becoming mythical figures themselves. But what about the concept of a tale? Oh wait, that is free. I'm just quickly down. But what about the concept of a tale so old it could become a myth among the vampires? I know it may sound vertiginous, but we know as scholars that the impossible is just an unexplained or undocumented event. For a few years now, I've tried to find traces of a figure rarely seen amongst the English immortals, the horned vampire. Through centuries, less than 10 occurrences of this figure can be found in the various documents gathered by order. The figure of a man-shaped silhouette, sometimes made of blood, sometimes made of mist or rain, that appears from Wales to Scotland, only to immortals who have no idea what this thing could be. What is this creature with large deer antlers? Well, that's my maker. I'm guessing that's William Marshall. Is it related in any way to the figure of Cernunnos, the ancestral horned god of the Celts? We don't know at all. But now think about this. Vampires themselves have no idea what this creature could be. Now that's a frightening idea. We may be in the presence of something so old that only small hints of its existence can be found eons. If this is true, we, as brothers of St. Paul, need to investigate this entity, for it could help us understand the forgotten origin of vampires. As a reminder, I add to this letter a transcription of this only written evidence we possess concerning the horned vampire, the odd poem entitled The Dreams of the Red Queen, supposedly composed by this entity. According to some vampire testimonies, this creature has sometimes been heard singing it while briefly appearing somewhere in Great Britain. I invite all of the brothers to study this text and consider it as testament of forgotten history. Well, dreams for the Red Queen on the crown of stone, that she may linger longer with eyes kept close, 11 thorns blooming from her troubled brow, awaiting for the next harvest to be gleaned at brisk springs. 10 copper veins, ripped from the belly of the earth, melted into tears flowing towards banished brothers, 9 glorious pyres of the scorched plain, to punish those whose hands were slow to obey. 8 ferocious beasts born from 8 restless nights, their backs hardened by their race with the sun. 7 notes of warning in the summer sky, compelling child to shielded sheets of sleep. 6 watchers bent on the hunting trails, shadows of the spears trace the tired furrows. 5 houses to fall before the song's end. Then 5 more reborn from their blackened ashes. 4 nails piercing the flesh of the sinner, restlessly hung to the dark wood of his crimes. 3 books were scribbled by pen of the dancer, who refuses to answer the call of the abyss. 2 giant rival snakes live in age's forest, coiled to the bones of mortals destined for the grave. 1 prayer for the summoned called by the song, child born from darkness whose path he must find. Alright, and from what I understand, Let's go to Asher now. The shortcut else. Yes, it is. Cool. Can remember that. I will go to Asher and we will do the pressure plate thing. Yeah.
Can you read the card?
Put the money on
Here is the money.
the snake. A bitter woman, smiling as she pours poison in your cup. A shaming betrayal. Hate.
Yes. Whoa, 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 is Venus going to kill?
Can you read the card?
Put the money.
Goodbye, sir.
I rarely.
Okay, let's say I need to stand on it a bit longer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. There we go. Oh. A collection of Paulus Aurelianus. Genuine legates, or any clever stranger who would one day decipher the code leading to this parchment. This was not written for you but for me. As the founder of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, I had many names and too long a story. These few lines are meant to help me remember who I was, what choices I made, and why I did what I chose to do, to never cease to inquire about immortals, and firmly banish any of them who would prove evil. Through the centuries of my long life, I've been given many names and many titles, but I remember being born on the beautiful island of Albion. I forgot the precise date, but I was told it was during the summer of the first quarter of the 5th century, after the birth of the Christian Messiah. I vaguely remember my mother's voice, sweet as fresh honey, when she sang to my older brother and me. She named me Paul and my brother Emrys. My father was a strong knight of the kingdom of Penitentian. I think I had a happy childhood. I learned to read and I was taught by wise men. Then the Saxons came and all was lost. The invaders came from the east and took the land. That was before the false prophet, now known as the Horned Trickster, presented himself in front of King Gorfigin to foresee the fight of the red and the white dragons and the defeat of our people. His words were so powerful that the king made him his advisor. As soldiers, as warriors, my father and my brother had no choice but to stand by their king and fight. As a priest, I was free to choose another path. After the death of a mother, I led the exile of my people. I led them across the sea, the young, the old, and the sick, to the islands of Ushant and Bats, to the city of Osimo, where we had to learn new languages. And in all these places I went, I spoke the truth and the true faith, and I spoke about the devil and his crooked horns. With the years, I almost forgot about the face of my mother and forests of my youth, about the fall of our land and the death of my relatives. I had so much to accomplish. I was a bishop, and I had a flock to guide. My eyes looked into the future. I forgot how to remember my previous life. I was old and at peace when my brother Emrys found me. Many years after his tomb has been resealed, I saw his dead flesh walk toward me in the dim light of the evening, and his rotten mouth spoke ill of me. He called me a traitor, for I had fled the land of our ancestors while he remained to fight. Trickster was his master now. He had granted him a natural and prolonged life. I called my own brother the son of the dragon and a dragon himself, for what he had become, but he refused to listen. He wanted me to join him and help him protect Albion, to unite our people again in the next battles to come. To achieve victory, he offered me everlasting life. As I refused, he attacked me, and his fangs and claws went deep into my flesh. Finally, I managed to bind them with my stole, and the power of God struck him. Then I sent him away, back to the sea and to the shadows, forbidden to ever come back. This is the true story of my brother and my stole. This is how we were both defeated, for my words did not convince him, and his bite corrupted me. Soon I died, and I rose from the grave to forever walk under the clouded moon. I drank the blood, I changed my face. For the crime I had committed upon my own kin, I swear to go back to Albion. There I would watch and protect the land my own way, strengthened by my faith, but blinded by the sun. Of my weakness I would make strength, a ray of hope in the darkness for the centuries to come, under many disguises among the living. Bound to my oath to protect the living from the threat of the dragons, and ready to ban any of them who would prove evil. True Dragonbane. One-handed. The ancient sword with a Latin phrase engraved on the blade had been forged in Wales during the 6th century and belonged to Paulus Aurelianus, founder of the Brotherhood of St. Paul Stole. Legend says he had this blade forged before he chose the path of exile and left England with his people. Dragonbane has been passed to each new primate of the Brotherhood. It might have been used in secret ceremonies when a primate was sent on a path of war to defeat a hostile creature. The sacred sword was supposedly lost during the schism between the Brotherhood and the God of Priven. In the middle of the 19th century, it seems a few copies may have been made, but this is a true and original dragon blade. It says one-handed, let's go! Yo, do you have anything to say about this?
Fool and the Empress. Good evening.
You don't. Fair enough.
Goodbye.
I rarely walk.
Also, let's go talk with Venus real quick. She seems to be considering killing her own husband. It's a bit crazy, you know. All right, let's have a glance. I'm just gonna make just in case. All right. So. I have enough to upgrade this. I have more than enough of this. Right, so what do you do? So blood. I think this will be good. This is my new loadout. Thank you, Saber. You served me well, but now I am using the Dragonbane. Awesome. Here we go, Venus. We have a few things to talk about.
You know that you are always...
Yes, I know. However, you are planning to do something
Why
horrible.
are you poisoning your husband?
He has spent a fortune printing his bloody papers. I can't stand this nightmare anymore. We are the butt of everyone's jokes since he returned.
If you're so frustrated by Clarence's behavior, why don't you just leave him?
I have already lost the best years of my life because of him. I will not jeopardize my future for some lunatic. He goes, and I inherit what's left.
I was the best man at your wedding. I remember your love for him. It was so beautiful. I cried. And now you've killed him.
Don't try to send a shiver down my spine, Dr. Reed. You were always on your own, and you kept emotions at bay. All for facts, remember? Well, deal with this one.
Good.
Can I tell him?
You know that you are always welcome.
Can I tell him? Because that's horrible. Clarence, my man.
Good. Venus is poisoning you, Clarence. She wants you dead.
So she really hates me that much now. My poor wife.
Yeah,
I had no idea
quit your
my
research.
research would drive her to such extremes.
I'm sorry, Clarence.
Why would you tell me that? First you returned from the dead, and now you tell me my wife is trying to murder me.
You're a stupid bastard, but you're my friend, Clarence. And I don't have many left. I don't want you to die. Not like that.
But I love her. I love my wife. Did I make her suffer that much? Have I become such a burden?
Please don't kill yourself.
So you have no suspicions about her at all? Nothing in Venus's behavior has seemed odd since you returned.
Frankly, it's my behavior that's been odd. Ever since I got back from the war, she accuses me of being paranoid and delusional.
She's not wrong. Should probably stop. All right, I'm gonna go speak back. I'm gonna go speak to Venus, because I'm sure she has something to add. If I could put her close to the story, that would be awesome. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
You know that you are...
Yes, 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 I am. I know, I know, I know. Let's talk.
Why do you and your husband argue so much?
He is not the kind man I married and loved. He is obsessed now. Obsessed with chimeras. I feel trapped. It just makes me want to scream.
Oh man, Clarence! Just stop! Clarence, just stop! You stop, everything will be fine.
Good evening, old chap. Are you all right?
Well, I guess I'll find out later.
You need...
Well, let's continue the story, because I don't know how... Wait, I'm gonna tell you guys how long I've been going for. I've been going on for 2 hours, however, most of what I've been doing isn't really even important, so let's just do this real quick. At least let's continue the story a little bit, because I was just doing side stuff. And we are back to where we were, and now we are stronger than ever. It's wonderful. Am I back? Wait. Yeah, I think I just need to continue following this path. And I'll reconnect with the sewer skulls. And okay, yeah. Now we take this turn. Should reconnect with them in a moment. I remember correctly. Alright, and we are back with the sewer skulls.
This place has been ransacked.
Oh. I can tell it's sanitized.
They've all been slaughtered. Pre-one. No, not their style. Where has Harriet gone? She must have left a trail I could follow.
Well, let's hope so. Oh, hold on. No there. Nothing around here. Alright, time to see if I can find anything. No blood in that direction. Okay, this seems to be the trail. Oh, Bridget is alright. Hello.
Where is old Bridget? Damn. If I'd come earlier, they would still be alive.
That's funny to me because I'm like, I was doing the side quest trying to get the sword. Oh! My maker! It's you! Again! I'm so confused about who you are. You're either William Marshall or you're the Horned Queen everybody has been talking about.
Further, child, for you are unprepared.
You, at last. I wondered when you would show your face again. Step away. We have nothing to discuss.
Desist, child. You cannot confront the monstrosity unleashed upon this land without due preparation. I shall not allow it.
All right. But no more riddles. Enough of the obscure songs and prophecies. I ask questions, and you answer them.
My words have been as clear as crystal lakes.
Oh my lord.
You seem unwilling to drink, to listen, to learn.
How? Why did you choose me?
Why
Yeah.
did you choose me?
Only you could provide a modern, scientific answer to this ancient, mystical threat.
What kind of modern answer?
Disease, contagion, and contamination. How they course through veins is your dominion, my child. Your choices have made you. Only you can save this land.
Speak to me of this ancient threat.
The blood of hate. Vessel of the wrath of the goddess. When she awakens, a disaster will be born into this world, for she is hunger and anger.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
What is your true appearance?
I do not understand. This is who I am.
Yeah.
Blood? You are made of blood. Surely you are joking.
Why would I? And no, I'm not made of blood. I am blood. Blood is what I am since my birth and for eternity.
I hate you so much.
Who are you really? Tell me your name.
I am your maker. I am the servant of the Red Goddess and protector of this land. I have many names.
Give me one.
Just give me one, then.
There are those who call me Merdin Wild, the Wild Horned Man. But I never was a man. I was born out of blood.
I am so confused. Alright.
I'm here to stop Harriet Jones. She is the original carrier. The well from which this corruption flows.
I have heard you, but be wary. Harriet Jones's mind is no more. She has metamorphosed into an apocalypse. Born from, drenched in, and driven by the blood of hate.
What is the blood of hate?
It is the curse of the goddess. It is the hunger in you, the need for blood, the will to strike and to punish, to spit in the eye of God.
Tell me about this disaster, creature. I know London fell victim to such a thing in 1666.
A disaster is pure anger born through blood. Its name means bad star, for they only appear when our queen unleashes her unquenchable wrath upon the world.
Okay. Who is this queen? Please tell me.
She is the Red Goddess, the Queen of Blood. In my youth, 100 lifetimes ago, she was worshipped as the Morrigan. She is my mother. She is yours, too.
The Morrigan? The Celtic goddess of war? Is this a ruse of some kind?
She has been worshipped in many forms throughout the ages. The true nature of the Red Queen is beyond your comprehension, eluding even mine. But
Please don't tell me it's Elizabeth.
she is a vengeful mother.
Please tell me she's not Elizabeth. Oh my
So the
lord.
disaster is some sort of accident. A disease vampires carry dormant in their blood, waiting to emerge.
That's your modern answer. But a disaster is at the same time both less and more.
Tell me what it is then, in your own words.
A disaster is the pure will of our queen. Whenever she dreams of walking this earth, she awakes in this putrid vessel.
Alright.
I only wish to know how to put an end to this epidemic.
To perform an act so noble, you must protect yourself from its poisonous kiss, my child.
I know. McCullum used such a serum when trying to kill me. However, I have produced a more efficacious version of the antidote.
Your final task awaits you at the end of these tunnels. I've known for ages you were worthy of this challenge, my champion, Bittersweet.
What will happen thereafter? What future awaits me beyond these dark tunnels?
Your fate, my child, and the fate of this land. A disaster is about to enter this world to smite us all and teach us humility. You are our final hope.
Of course I am.
Will it be over then? Once I've defeated this creature?
Yes. The threat will dissipate like so much smoke, for you will have purified its source.
And then what? What will become of me?
How would I know? I am no god, and your fate is in your own hands. For you are our champion.
So who made me?
You tricked me. My sister died for your schemes. I have brought suffering and tragedy into this world. I am not, nor will I ever be your champion.
Very soon you'll come to know that sacrifice is sometimes necessary. I understand the grudge a child bears towards his father and mother. Be brave, my child.
Are you gonna go get some milk now? Yeah, she's gonna go get some milk. Well, shit. Let's make sure we're ready for this. What is this? I'm scared. What is this? I don't trust this. I will say. Anyways.
These poor skulls didn't stand a chance.
Yeah. And that when she gets cigarettes, decide not to come back. Obviously, I don't go this way. I go the other way. Wow, Harriet, you really didn't hold back. Like, really didn't hold back. Well, good thing she's gonna be considered infected if I'm gonna be cool. She's poisoning the water supply.
Oh, I'm sick. So sick. Doctor, help me, please. I'm in such pain.
I'll be glad to be of assistance.
Ah, like your help, Doris. Liars, all of you.
Stop!
My poor baby. I've been such a bad mother. But the Queen herself forgave me. Gave me another chance.
What is it thing in your arm?
You must stop all of this. I can't let you infect anyone else.
How dare you interfere with the Red Queen's plans, Doctor? How can you stop the course of nature?
Oh, wow. Jonathan, what are you doing? Stop. Good thing this pew pew is really good. Maybe you shouldn't have the same moveset as your daughter, dumbass. Oh! Bitch slap of the century. Now? I'm gonna give her a second. Just give me a second. I don't know what that did. It was probably like an instant heal or something. Wait, what? There we go. Oh, that's all?
Is this a dream?
This
anger?
Is it wrath? I think it is. How intensely, how irredeemably are you all going to suffer now?
Should I be scared? Okay, maybe I understand. I shouldn't waste blood.
Feed your mother, child.
What does that mean? Okay, can't kill them, can't kill them. Okay, I am...
For this is my body.
What? Okay, let's just slow down a little bit. Come on. Shut up, yes. I am.
Abundant the harvest, red the crop.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm terrified. Oh. Okay, let me reload then. Come on. Come on, kill her. Yes! First try! First try!
No one could ever defeat you, mother of us all, for you are our every root and leaf.
You've always been my most amusing son.
Then go back to sleep, my queen, and smile at us from your dreams.
Did they feel my wrath? Have they suffered enough?
More than ever, mother of us all.
Until the next time.
Until the next time.
I am so confused. Is the water supply okay?
So it's over then, young Ekon. You have put an end to this terrible menace.
Old Bridget? What are you doing here?
This is my realm, Ekon. This is Suascal territory.
But they were all massacred by the monstrosity that Harriet became.
Others will come, engendered by deceitful vampires. I don't mean you, of course.
I thought you'd been slaughtered, with all the other Suascals.
I was up above, in search of help when Harriet suddenly turned into that thing. I have no idea what it was.
It's over now. London is no longer shrouded in the disaster's shadow. We're all safe.
Yes, you prevailed in the end. I hope you'll forgive me for the way I treated you when first you presented yourself at our gate.
No need to apologize, really.
Perhaps there will be no stories told or songs sung of what happened here today. But I'll know the truth. Jonathan Reed, newborn vampire, stepped forward and saved us all.
I'm honored to be part of this city's legend. Thank you, old Bridget. May I ask you just one question?
How could I refuse you anything now? I'll answer just as I answered Lady Ashbury when we met a few nights ago.
Who are you? Really?
I was born with the name Bridget Eleanor Wellington. In 1738, my beloved and immortal husband decided to preserve my beauty and youth forever by making me drink his blood.
You were Lord Redgrave's wife. Then the pompous fool rejected you, did he not?
It was about 200 years ago. Peace found me in time. And I sincerely hope it will find you too, now that all is over.
No, it's not over. I may have ended the vampire epidemic, but I still need answers from the woman I love.
I feared you would say that. Go then, young Ekon, and face your fate. Just remember that I'll always be here for you.
London has been cleansed. This catastrophe came about when an ancient, malignant will crossed paths with mortal imprudence. For now, we are safe. For now. My craving for blood remains. Red like hate, red like hunger, red as life and death, passing from one immortal to another, from predator to victim, patiently biding its time to rise again. London has been cleansed for now, but there's a simmering hatred, fear, and old grudges. When will we succumb, mortals and immortals alike? The next disaster is only a matter of time. My only hope now is to catch the woman I love, to understand why she fled, and unmask the secret that has been lurking in her blood for so long.
Oh! Amazing card, Jonathan. Good choice.
Well, this is it. Lady Ashbury's domain. Why am I not surprised it's not on any maps? I'd better hurry.
I will read this for you guys. The disaster has been averted and the Red Queen slumbers once more. My part is done and it is time for me to go. Elizabeth, my love, I am coming for you and your truth. I pray to all the forgotten gods and fallen saints. I beg before all the fading suns in the graveyard of stars that you will be there for me. So, actually, let's make it even prettier. Screenshot material. There we go. Now let me... So... I know that you would love to see how this story unfolds. However, I am way past 2 hours and this video will take a while to edit. So, with that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Subscribe and like if you did, comment down below telling me what you thought, and find out in the next episode what will happen. Will Lady Ashbury accept Jonathan back into her loving arms? Will the love and the heart still remain for one another? All to be decided in the next episode. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.